Hello there. I'm here with David at the dpaf. We're here to talk about career prospects for those who have recently been made unemployed following furlough situations and the like. So, David, let's talk about this. This is quite a serious problem for, particularly for young people, I would say. They've come to the end of their furlough period and perhaps unfortunately have found that their job is no longer available to them. What should they do in terms of reassessment and making a strong plan for future employment?
That's a really good question. I mean, I felt that when the furloughs began, they would end in unemployment. And I think the government were not honest with people about that. They knew they would end in unemployment as well. And a lot of people, instead of using that time to look for new jobs, have been focusing their time on taking it easy or not redeveloping their skills because they were under the impression they were going back to the original job that they were going back to. And if you think about the hospitality industry specifically, it's been this kind of stop-start. They were let go or sort of furloughed and then they were brought back and then they've been re-furloughed. And I mean, it's obvious that with this second wave or second lockdown, a lot of the hospitality companies that were trying to survive and bring back their people, they're not going to keep doing these repeated lockdowns. They're just going to give up. They're not going to keep tapping into their savings to keep their companies afloat. And it's easier for them just to shut down, let go, get rid of all their people, their staff. And obviously we're talking to the newly unemployed. They need to get back into the economy, into new employment,
yes,
and that's
so
kind of what we want to talk about.
How will they be doing that?
I think what you've got to do, my assessment and advice, based on what I've just said, and it's a little bit late now, always assume the worst in these kind of economic collapses. Assume your job's going to go. Right. Some people we're maybe talking to are still in this limbo period. They say, no, David's like making this up. I'm definitely going back to my job next month. My manager's called and told me. If these lockdowns keep continuing as the government are going to ensure that they do, you're not going to be going back anyway. It's time to look to the new opportunities. And the new opportunities, to answer your question, are where's market demand in these times? And market demand is going to be in distressed situations. It's going to be, I think, in moving is particularly strong. A lot of people are going to be moving house, moving location, basically moving premises, moving somewhere. I think moving is going to be a really strong thing. There's going to be change. That's what creates economic growth. Is people changing what they're doing. So that is a positive thing. So moving, I've mentioned, a lot of people working from home now, all these sort of home improvement things, looking to work at home or stay close to home or be at home most of the time and find entertainment resources or community resources close to home. I think we've been in a society for a long time. We're always sort of looking outward, away from the local community, and now it's time to bring things back to the local community. So the answers, I think, for a lot of people are more local than they think.
So just for an example, say you were talking directly to someone who's been made redundant from the hospitality industry. You, I think, will probably suggest that they look at existing skills to see if these could be transferred to other areas, and if so, how would they hone in on those skills? What sort of things do you think they should be looking at?
Yeah, well, that's a really good question. I mean, so many people have transferable skills that they don't realise that they have, and they should be encouraged to think about that and develop those skills. I mean, hospitality is such a great one because you're dealing with people, you're multitasking, you're working in a busy environment, you're dealing with quite a lot of intense pressure, getting a lot of things done multiple times, you're dealing with problems. So for those young people, a lot of young people work in hospitality in different realms, and they are pretty talented at being able to adapt to new employment that they would not have thought about. I mean, this is the thing, you've got to have a really open mind. You've got to believe in yourself. Hospitality people, again, are great social people, so they'll be able to network easily, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to be able to network with people you know, people you don't know, get your name out there, get yourself out there, and have employers identify you as someone that can contribute in a well, obviously in a positive way for the new company or the new industry or the new economic opportunity.
Do you think some people should even consider starting up their own enterprises in this climate?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's great opportunity for that. You know, not easy, but if you can find the right niche, that the key is, what I believe, is always about market demand. I mean, if you've got strong demand, that's great opportunity. If there's weak demand or tepid demand, you've got no chance. And a lot of people make the mistake, as I've done, of going into what you know or what people think you should do, even if there's no market demand there. I mean, hospitality is a great example. Now's not the time to be opening a new pub, you know. Whereas services for distressed people, counselling, all this mental health stuff that's being talked about, transitioning from a life that you thought you were going to have to you not have. I mean, obviously, things like family separation, marital separation, these are things that are going to be going on in the country, as much as we don't like to talk about it. But from a business point of view, that's going to create business opportunity and job opportunity. And that's what I'm talking to the young people in this video about, and older people as well. Go where the opportunity is. Really define where's opportunity. And there is lots of opportunity, even though we've got a declining employment base and obviously declining monetary velocity in the country. People aren't going to be spending any money.
What you've touched on mental health issues. How do you suggest young people improve their chances by actually improving their confidence, which will have taken a battering in this lockdown? They're not mixing with their colleagues, they've lost their job. So how do I tackle that specifically?
That's really a really good question. I mean, a lot of people derive their confidence through social interaction, and when that's taken away, they can feel a little bit less assured. Obviously, the government misleading young people, I think, is a huge problem, trying to pretend that they're going back to jobs when they themselves know that it's never going to be happening. So I think, get off the television, get off the news. That's going to help your emotional well-being more than anything right off the bat. You can still connect with your friends and be proactive about reaching out to them. I mean, they're going to be in the same position that you're in, because if they're at home or they're uncertain about the future, they will welcome a kind of an overture from you or a message from you. And if you could really start networking with your friends and build that network and get ideas from your friends, and that's really going to help you a lot. So less listening to the television, more proactive talking to your friends and neighbours and family members. And I think that's where you're going to get your good, that's where the solutions to the problems are going to come from.
What opportunities are there out there now for retraining career-wise?
I think there's a lot. I think having more lean learning and training is the way to go. I mean, we talk about these 3-year college degrees or 4-year college degrees, which to me now is a sort of a slow and cumbersome solution, because it is trying to put you into jobs that were, part of the quote-unquote old economy. We need to be looking for short-term solutions in this sort of transitional period and trying to make money and find employment with things that are going to be happening somewhat on a temporary basis, but then could lead to more permanent employment when the economy becomes stabilised. And I think that's the way to approach it. Look for short-term training for short-term opportunities, and then longer-term training for longer-term opportunities after that.
Yeah, so that goes back to keeping the open mind.
Total open mind. I mean, you've really got to focus on what you enjoy the most. Really think hard about what you really enjoy. What do you enjoy? When you wake up and you've got a free day, what do you tend to do? What do you tend to gravitate to? What do you tend to read about? What are your friends? The kind of friends you make, what are their interests that are similar to yours that makes you want to be friends with them? And if you can kind of define that, maybe it's music, maybe it's sport, maybe it's travel, maybe it's fashion, whatever it is, and hone in on that. And you were talking about setting up your own business. It's got to be something you're passionate about and have a unique knowledge about. Otherwise, you're going to be less successful than you would be if obviously you've got unique knowledge and a passionate interest in the topic and the subject matter.
Something I wanted to remind your followers also, and I know you've spoken about this before, when people assess and reassess their skills, it's quite a good idea for them to actually ask their partners or their family to from their point of view, how do they view our skills and strengths and maybe even weaknesses. You have to be open and honest, but that can be very valuable. I know you've said that before.
I think that so many people under value their own unique talents and they don't recognise them. It's easy to recognise them in other people because you're looking at them from with your own eyes outward. But for people for you to be able to look at yourself inward is much harder, and to get feedback from those closest to you is a valuable thing. But the point of doing this video and the point of talking about this is I think we've reached this moment in the country where the pen is dropping with a lot of the population, that they're not going back to the jobs that they were going. They thought they were just going to be 2 weeks or 3 weeks and they'd be going back to their office. I mean, that's not happening. I think it was clear to a lot of the national leadership that was not going to be the case, but now it's filtered through to the everyday people, and they need to be proactive about it now. I mean, you want to get ahead of the rehiring curve. You don't want to keep chasing this elusive dream of going back to your job that's long since over.
Yeah, so in a kind of summing up situation, we're looking at almost a self-analysis and self-appraisal in the ways we've mentioned, considering what our skills are, how they can be transferred, looking at opportunities in those fields, and also looking at perhaps opportunities that weren't there befefore but seem to be emerging. Yeah. I don't know if you've got any thoughts on what those areas might be. All those things are right on the money.
Yeah. Self-analysis, networking with your peers and your family, being proactive. I mean, getting yourself out there, assume that your old job's done, whether they've given you the confirmation or not, and start noticing new opportunities that are coming. And there's a lot of new opportunities because there's all this chaos in the country. And embrace the new opportunities because they're going to be the first ones hiring. And they're looking to hire people that are energetic and capable and reliable and talented and hardworking. And I think a lot of those people will be the ones watching this podcast here.